Okay. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys how to put a weapon in put these weapons in Unreal. Okay.
Alright.
So I've already done a pull. So let's go to free3d.com. Let's grab a weapon. Okay. So I don't know. Tell me a weapon. Knife.
Knife.
Let's do knife.
Yeah. So the other thing
All right. We'll
we
just
do
keep it simple.
is we just need to
Um,
only do this when we spawn.
I don't know. Let's do actually.
Gun.
I'm just gonna do game weapon,
Keep in mind or whatever.
so it's not
Basically,
crazy.
the only other thing that I can think of.
We can do that pistol, I guess.
Oh, no, that was right.
How many polys is that? Okay, that's not that bad. Alright, let's do this pistol. Oh my god.
Wow.
There's 40,000 versions of this.
Yeah,
So
That's
let's.
a little nuts.
It is a little
My
nuts.
SPX.
Yeah, let's do the FBX.
yeah, it's already in
Alright,
there, isn't it?
got the FBX. Right click, extract all, extract. Let's go on the FBX.
I think we can get rid of that.
There's no texture.
Oh no, you
I think the texture is separate.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But we're doing all the math here now, so we can get rid
Doesn't look like it.
No, like on the site, you're gonna have to actually download the texture.
Start with the river.
of it.
Really?
Give yourself a big brush. Look up here at the top left.
Oh.
Put that to like 30 or 50.
I saw yeah, right there.
Textures? Okay, awesome. Alright, so let's extract the textures.
I think it would make more sense to call that story.
Okay, it looks like these three.
Start with the river outline.
So what I'm gonna do
Do something crazy.
is I'm just gonna move all this stuff to the desktop real quick.
Alright.
And then
So now draw over.
let's move the FBX to the desktop as well.
3 times for one side and 3
I don't know what.
One's a
Oh,
binary,
one's
the
an
other-
ASCII. Okay. So we'll just do. We'll do the ASCII. That's fine. All right. So let's fire up Maya.
Now what you do is
All right. File import.
delete edges. Delete lines that you
Desktop.
need to
Handgun.
If you do that, you'll have a more
And since we put the textures in the same location, they should come in,
throw the eraser on.
which they do.
Oh.
So let's not stress about the bullet and the clip right now. There's a bunch of other crap in this scene, so I'm gonna go Windows,
Delete the edges.
Hypergraph Hierarchy.
Go against it.
I just want the gun.
Just don't think
Okay, so all this other crap can go. So let's first of all, I'm gonna Shift P, unparent everything. Looks like there's some animation on this too. So I'm just gonna go Show None, Show Polygons. Good lord.
So, but I mean, it's like this. I'm just gonna use paint, for example. That doesn't
Like somebody animated this gun.
very wavy.
Okay, we got a problem.
Delete the animations first.
Yeah.
And then what happens
So I'm just gonna select all this stuff.
is start erasing
There's keys on all kinds of stuff. So Windows, this is good.
here.
Windows General Editors or Animation Editors Graph Editor.
But I like here how it goes.
So there's a bunch of keys here.
You're animating a gun?
And then I
I'm not animating a gun.
What are you doing?
I am showing the animators how to
I'm
get
not
weapons.
animating again.
I'm gonna delete the keys in the graph editor, okay? And then I'm just gonna select everything again.
You gotta try and think of
Just make sure there's no keys. I'm gonna tap up,
make your map.
make sure there's no groups with keys on them. Okay. Yeah, I know it, Dan. Okay, muzzle fire can go. I don't know what that is. Bullet something. That's like a bullet node. What is this? Nothing. There's a trigger.
That trigger's out of place though.
Yeah, it's out of place. We would move it into place, but I'm not going to deal with it. And then gun. Okay, so right now we just have gun and gun. So yep. So there's a bunch of extra stuff in here. I'm just going to hold shift while it's selected. And if I hold shift while stuff is selected, it selects the inverse. Then I can just delete that stuff. Make sense? So now we have gun, gun, and gun. That's it. That's all we have in the scene, which is great. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about scaling this right now. I'm just gonna keep it as is. I hope it's not too massive. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll go to Windows. We'll do this the right way. Windows, settings and preferences, preferences. So let's do something like in measuring. So this is in centimeters. So let's just put it to inches because I like inches. And I'll hit save. So each one of these blocks is now an inch. So that is a very small gun. Okay. So let's scale this up to, it's probably what, 3, 4, 5 inches, something like that.
I'd say somewhere around there.
Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly 6 inches. That seems about right. We'll just leave it there. Okay, we're not terribly worried about it right now. Alright, we got our gun. So now all I'm gonna do, I got the texture on there. I got the gun on there. So now all I'm gonna do is I need to create a bone. So there's the center of the grid there. We have to think about where this is going to be positioned on the character's hand. Okay? So normally what I like to do is just kind of put stuff where I feel like the hand's going to grip it, which is like right there. It really doesn't matter. We're going to move it around anyway. But like, I don't know, something like this. It really doesn't matter. Just keep it somewhat centered in the grid. We could even do it like that. It doesn't matter. Something like this is fine. You could even like just make sure that everything's centered in your view. I just tap the space bar there. It looks like everything's centered. So that's good. It's tilted right. It's good to go. Alright, so I'm going to come in here to animation. I'm sorry, rigging. And I'm going to create a bone at the center of the grid. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide polygons. And if I hold X and click, it creates a bone right there. Since I had bones hidden, it didn't show it when I created it. Then you click Enter, and I have a bone. So I know that I only have 2 objects in the scene, so I'm going to select the 2 objects, shift select the bone, and then I'm just going to go change this drop down to rigging and go to skin. I'm just going to bind it. It doesn't matter. Okay? So once it's bound, since there's only 1 bone, it's going to skin 100% of all this gun to just that 1 bone. And we'll call this root. Okay? And then I'll save my Maya scene. So I'm going to sit.
The only joint we're going to need?
Yep. I mean, well, okay.
As long as you put it where the root is.
Yeah, so, alright, so let's pretend that this gun has more moving parts. What we can do is we can add another bone. So like I'm just going to hold X and I'll add another bone here. And let's say we want the trigger to move. So I'm just going to put it where the trigger pivot would be. So like just right there, and I'll call this trigger. Okay. And I'll just parent it in. Now we have to, since we did this separate, we have to add an influence. So I would select the trigger and I would select this bone, shift select the bone, and go to skin, edit influences, add influence. And it would add this bone to the trigger. Okay? Alright, so file. Alright, so this is good to go. So let's save this scene in the project. So we're going to go to Atomic Assault, or Vampire Assault is what mine's called. And we are working in the art folder, not in characters. Let's make a new folder here called Weapons. And then in here, this is new folder, we'll do Soldiers. And then in here, I'll make a new folder, and this is going to be...
Pistol?
Yeah, we're probably going to need multiple pistols. Well, let's actually rename that. Let's just rename it to pistol. Doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm going to save this as a Maya scene called pistol. Now let's export it. File, export all. Alright. Now I'll go ahead and put the FBX on my desktop. And we're going to call this pistol. And we're going to change it to an FBX. Now when we export this, we want to turn smoothing groups on. It doesn't have any blend shapes, but we want to keep skins. Okay, we don't have any animation, we don't have any cameras, we don't have any lights, we don't have any audio. We can go ahead and embed media. That saves the textures in the FBX file. And then we're going to FBX 2013.
Once again, essentially.
Then let's go ahead and export it. Okay?
Sends information from the host to all the hosts.
Okay, so this says that it
Won't bring the textures.
won't bring the textures because it can't find them. So whatever, it doesn't matter. We got them anyway. Alright, so here's our project. So we don't have a weapons folder currently. Oh wait, we have weapon asset. What's this?
I think there's a black.
Well, let's just make a new one here. So let's call one weapons. And again, we're going to mimic the same thing that we have in there. Another new folder. This one's going to call soldiers, and this one's going to be called pistol. Same as we had in the art folder. Okay, so there's no problem finding it. I'm going to click import, and let's go to Atomic Assault. Actually, it's on the desktop. Pistol. And I'm just going to go ahead and click import all. Okay, it says the following bones are missing from the bind pose. Okay, let's see if it brought it in anyway. So I double click the pistol, there's our pistol. Let's check the skeleton. So it triggers in there, which is fine. The reason it's missing from the bind pose is because I didn't add that influence to any object like I said I was going to do. If I would have skinned it to something, it would have worked, but the trigger's still in there. Okay. So it pulled in all the textures. It did everything we wanted to do. No problem. We don't have to do anything. I don't know how it did it, but it did. Alright, so now we got the gun. So now let's check the size of the gun based off the character's hand. Okay? So let's open up a character. I'm just going to go back to contents, and I'm going to filter this based off of skeletal meshes. And let's see if we can find a soldier. There's a knight. That's not good. There's a bunch of soldiers down here. Alright, so we don't want to scale to the knight, we'll just scale to a soldier. Alright, this guy's already got a weapon, so that's fine. Interesting. Okay, so let's pull the pistol in. I'm gonna go to skeleton. Come on. Alright, so I'm gonna come down to... This is so weird. So we need to attach it to his... I'm just gonna attach it to his left hand here for scale. Gun handle. Okay. Let's get rid of this. This weapon here. Weird. Okay, I can't seem to get rid of this preview asset for some reason.
Well, you said you were doing that simply because it was
Dan?
going to take a second for it to complete it, right?
Well, we're not getting to do actors. We're just doing production.
Yeah.
What did I do? Hey Dan, do you know how to get rid of this preview asset? I'm trying to get rid of it, but... You know how to do it?
You know
Yeah.
Wait, this should happen. So where's that again?
You want to do that? Oh. Remove all attached assets. There you go. There you go. Okay.
There.
Alright, so. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the hand, which is hand R. And I'm going to create a, what we call a socket. So I'm going to add socket. So I created a new socket. There's already one there called gun handle. This one I'm going to call pistol, just like the name of the asset that we imported. And then I'm going to right click and add a preview asset. So add preview asset, type in pistol, there's our pistol. Now where the hell is the pistol?
Maybe it's just that small.
Oh, it's tiny.
It could be absolutely tiny. So now what's cool is, so you don't move the pistol preview asset, you move the
Oh, okay, this way.
yes, it's tiny and it's not rotated correctly. Okay, cool. So what we need to do here is we need to scale it up. So in order for us to scale it up, we go back to our, I'm going to unfilter this based off of skeletal mesh. Let's go to our weapons folder. Double click the pistol mesh. Now let's go down to scale, asset import data, transform. So we're going to scale this up, let's just say, I don't know, 5. And then you go, where's re-import? Re-import base mesh. Okay? We don't need this guy anymore. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Okay, that was a good guess. So let's rotate this into place now.
Chris, there's already a gun.
I know there is, but
oh, this is a tutorial.
well, here's the deal. So this gun handle. Do you want us to make sure all of our things are on the same gun handle?
It'll be easier now, right?
Okay, alright. So let's not do it this way, guys. I'm going to delete that one. We're going to use Dan's pre-existing gun handle. So we deleted the preview asset. Let's add another preview asset. It's going to be a little harder, but that's okay. So we'll add in pistol here. Oh my god. And we crashed. Sweet. Alright, let's see what we lost here. Weapons. Awesome, we lost all that stuff. Cool. Gotta re-import the pistol. Import all. Alright, let's go to pistol. And we'll scale it up again. What was that, 5? Re-import base mesh. Save. Oh shit, that doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna right click on here, remove all attached assets. So we're gonna use, instead of creating our own socket, we're gonna use Dan's socket, okay? So let's right click on this, add preview asset, pistol. Alright, so that comes in like that. Okay, I tapped F there to zoom to it. It's a little easier to rotate around the camera. Okay, so so we're not going to rotate, we're going to leave Dan's thing where it's at. We just need to rotate this in the editor here of when we import it. So let's go back to import data. So where it says import rotation, let's change this to 45 and do, I don't know, we're just going to do a guess here. And then I have to hit save. And that, okay, so that rotated like 45 degrees this way. So this is kind of where some guesswork is. So instead of 45, I'm going to do 90. And re-import. Alright, that worked. Actually, I didn't want to do that. Let's do 0, and then we'll change this one to 90. Re-import. Okay. So this just takes some kind. There we go. Boom. And I guessed right. I see what I was talking about how to put the pistol. So let's see how this looks like with an animation. Okay, so in the animation it's a little low. So we just need to move it up a little bit. So let's go to import translation. Let's just do 1. Re-import base mesh. Okay. What's that?
You moved it forward.
Oh. So if you look over here, there should be an XYZ, so you can tell which direction to move it. So let's move it Z. I screwed that up. So let's type in 1. Reinforce base mesh. That looks pretty good. Let's just do
2.
Yeah, let's do 2.
That's also a bug where it stretches out the scale depending on.
Perfect. See that? Perfect. Exactly how we want it. Alright, so let's save this. Let's just save all. File, save all. Alright. And I'm going to close that. So now we've created a Maya file. We've pulled in a weapon from online. We've skinned it. We've added some bones. We've attached it to the character. It looks okay. Now our job is over. Okay? All we need to do is position it in the character's hands, make sure it's okay. Good to go. I'm going to pull Dan over for this, just to make sure when I do my committing I'm not going to screw anything up.
Okay.
Alright, so then I'm going to go to my Vampire Assault folder, right click, and I'm going to git sync. Well, I'll do it a different way. I'll do git commit master, because that's what they're used to. Type in local, uncheck these. Christopher Cura. Right, I shouldn't have to do that again, right?
Yeah, it's safe locally.
Then for whatever reason it doesn't pop up, you have to come down here and click OK. So now let's take a look at all the files that we've done here. So first of all, I'm going to put in a note here. Just put my last name and I'll say added pistol. Okay. And then I'm looking here. Okay, okay, so all of this stuff is mine. I got a Maya file here. I got a bunch of U assets, which is the files that once we import into Unreal, they're there. Okay, so these are all files I need to commit. Okay, so content characters, prototype characters, sk prototype m.u asset. That's that was that robot character that we were using, right? I don't want to change that at all.
So you right click and revert.
Well, I don't have to revert. I'm just gonna.
Just not
Oh,
change it.
can I revert in here?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. So I'm not gonna change his character. Okay. I don't need to do anything to the animation, which is the blend space here. And the base humanoid, I don't need to do anything to that. I'm not doing anything to I'm just adding pistol stuff.
Okay.
The since I imported it and moved it all where I wanted to do it, that's all contained in the U assets here. We don't need to do anything on skeletons. So I'm just going to revert that too. And then I click OK. Or commit and push. I'm good to go.
Are we gonna add the modify in there too?
Yes.
As long as